real quick before I start this video off, I recognize that the chat connecting thing is on the screen the entire time. I noticed that after I recorded the whole thing. I apologize. I also tried to switch the colors around, but when you switch the colors around from the team and the enemy team, that doesn't switch the ultimate colors. So I left them the same nonetheless. I know people made some comments on that stuff in the past. I know we were going to mention the connecting thing too. I will try to avoid that connecting thing in the future. But anyway, we'll jump right into the video. Okay, I want to do a video sort of talking about how I view the game and how I go about playing the game. I do so a little bit differently, and I think after that video where I spectated the toxic dude on my team kind of blew up a little bit. There's a lot of people that showed up in the comments to talk about how they have certain expectations of what their teammates should be doing, right? And it kind of also reminded me something while I was streaming of just people saying like, "Oh, well, I'm not gonna peel for my supports as the DPS because that's not my job." They think that's the tank's job, right? Or they think it's the other support's job. Um, and I want to talk about how you're sort of limiting yourself and making your job harder because the goal of the game is to win, right? And you win through I think like if I can put it down, break it down in the, as simplest forms as possible into like five basic things, which is to hold the objective, to create space, contest off angles, get kills, and peel for your supports, right? Now, none of these things are specifically role dependent, right? Uh, how you play and what you're doing at the time isn't about whether or not it's your role. Like, if there is a DPS that is attacking your supports, the question isn't whether or not it is your job. The question is for the hero that you're playing and the position that you're at and when it's happening, do you have the tools to deal with said problem, right? I play the game where I only expect to use the tools I have to solve the problems of the game. And so I'm not relying on my team to sort of psychically know what I want them to do. I am playing with the tools I have to solve said problem, right? I'm not expecting heals at all times. I am not expecting people to sink resources into me in order to save me. I am playing around the idea that this is all I have. And then my teammates, with the tools that they have and the heroes that they're playing, they will use the tools in what way they deem best fit. But I am not going to play around the idea that they are going to sink all of their resources into me. To illustrate this, I am going to narrate over one of my games I have here and how I am sort of always positioning and playing in a way of which I am trying to give my team the most value while also only ever relying on the kit that has been given to me or the kit that I decided on.
Area. The battle starts in 5, 4, 3.
So here immediately, I start to go to an off angle. I start to go to a flank side. The kit that I have as Psylocke allows me to get a quick assassination. And it allows me to get to off angles faster and safer than my team can. I immediately turned to look to see where my team was located first. And then when I saw them starting to engage, then I started to move in when I knew that the enemy team would be distracted. I go to try and poke out the rocket, but I know that since they have the rocket there, I go to get the res station. I see that my teammate has died, so I play a little bit slow. Knowing that he's dead, I'm playing a little bit more passive. And I try to set a different off angle from the rest of my team, right? If you've heard me talk about off angles a lot, I am never trying to stand directly next to my team. I'm trying to be within LOS, in which if I need heals, they can see me. But I am also providing more value than if we're all just backed up standing next to each other. So I try to get to the other side here to try and provide a different off angle and try and go after the magic who got grabbed. It was unsuccessful, so I start going to reset my cooldowns here. I see that my Black Panther has died again, and now we are down in a 6v5. I don't believe that we're going to be able to sustain, or that we'll be able to get a pick in this fight. Everyone will be able to sustain through it. So I keep trying to find a different angle, and I know at this point in time I was not happy with where I was. So I try to take a more aggressive approach to see if I can't make a quick play. I get back behind them because of the fact that, once again, I have my mobility. I have a lot of tools in terms of being able to get behind them, go for quick assassination. So I'm trying to take advantage of that. But I'm not relying on my teammates to do anything for me. I know that while I'm back here, I am taking a big risk because of the fact that no one else is near me. But seeing that my tank has fallen over and that they're going to collapse in on me, I try to get a pick. When it doesn't work, I just get out. Here, I make a huge mistake, though. And I try to get out, but I mess up the jump. I get outplayed, and then I die. It's lucky that I got the res. But once again, this res is not something that I should rely on. I shouldn't be expecting to be resed. This is something that, Rocket saw and put down for me. But ultimately, I shouldn't be relying on something like this. Me dying in that situation was my fault. I took an aggressive play, and I paid the price for it. So here, now that the team is back and I hear support ults going out, I start to go out with my team and I start to collapse in on them as fast as I can. Now, typically, once again, the tanks are the ones that are known to make space, right? But through the use of Cloak and Dagger's ult, she was able to create a lot more space for us to work. So even though that's not technically the support's job, through the use of her ultimate, she was able to create space and allow us to go in. I burn through the rocket ult as fast as I can. And now, after building my ult, I ult their backline. I was hoping that their Invisible Woman didn't have ult yet, and I was right. And now it's just clean up from here. Now we're just going to wait. We're going to start setting up for the next fight. Me having a lot of mobility, I like to play aggressive and try and create as much space as I can by pushing them up off of the high ground and pushing them back. That allows the convoy to move up a little bit more. And once again, you see that because of the fact that I have mobility, I can get to these off angles a lot easier and a lot safer than the rest of my team. So I can be up here, contesting this space and providing more pressure from up top. And this is me taking advantage of the kit that I have. Seeing that Rocket is on the other side and I have my team up ability, I try to go for a cheeky assassination. I miss out on it, but I immediately get back into safety. And as I start to take damage, I start to fall back to join with my team. Now, this entire time I am up there, I am using my kit and my abilities to put myself into a position which I feel like that will benefit my team better than just hanging back. But you also see here that once I start to run out of my cooldowns, I start to play a lot more passively and a lot more defensively, and I back up. Now I'm trying to regroup with my team to get to someplace safer until my cooldowns come back. I am not expecting that when I have low cooldowns that, my supports or tanks are going to be there to save me. I can't rely on them because at any given point in time, your supports might be busy, your tank might be busy, they might be pressured out. If you are just assuming that they're going to get you at all times and that, your supports don't have to reload or they're not going to be pressured out, you're going to die a lot more often than if you're focused solely on relying on your own kit. That's not to say that you can't rely on your teammates at some point, but if you want specific abilities or cooldowns out of them, you need to communicate that to them and that you're going to need it as you go in, like calling for a Magneto bubble when you dive in or something. So here I am sort of waiting for this ult to run out. I immediately get too afraid of the Hela, so I go into the Cloak and Dagger ult. I'm trying to take advantage of the Cloak and Dagger ult. I go up to a high ground and get to an off-angle position because once again, my kit allows me to get to off angles and more aggressive angles a lot easier, a lot faster. It allows us to get more kills. And now it's just sort of clean up from here. Go back and I stand on the payload to make sure that we just cap it faster. We only need 3, but I know people tend to walk away from the payload a lot of times, so I was just staying on it just in case. Here I was caught a little off guard because I really didn't expect him to hop on the point because that was going to happen. So here now I am trying to play aggressive and jump at the enemy team and get a few more cleanups the best I can. Which is working. We're staggering them really hard, which gives us a lot of space on the payload to move up. Now I'm going to contest an off angle and be prepared for when the enemy team wants to uh, contest the convoy. But what I'm sitting here waiting to do is I'm waiting, especially because of the fact that I have my ult ready. I am waiting for them to engage on my team first, uh, because I don't want to be the first one to dive in there. You want them to get the tanks to get their attention first. But then once Black Panther dives in there, it was kind of already decided for me then that I need to get in there as well. Getting too afraid of being out in the open, I immediately dash back to sort of be near my team to where I can sort of get a better idea of what I want to do. Here, I am dealing now with the tank who is now on the back line on our supports. He is completely separated away, which makes him an easy target. Just because of the fact that I am a DPS and that flanking the supports is, the priority pick, you are always trying to look for the person who is out of position. And as a DPS player, your job isn't just to flank and kill the supports. Your job is to get kills, right? So get kills, contest the space. That's what you do best, right? Every role has what they do best, but every role is capable of contesting space or peeling or holding the objective or fighting those off angles or peeling. Every role can do everything. It's just a matter of at that given place and time, if you have the tools in your toolkit, why not solve that problem for your team? And here, because I have my ult, I go in the back. I know the Rocket's got the res station, so I go looking for it. Here, I didn't use my ult sooner because of the fact that I was told that Cloak and Dagger had her ult. So I hadn't popped it when I probably should have. But right as she did use it, I saw my Emma Frost head choke slammed her, which interrupted it, which meant that it was easy to ult the point. Now it's just cleaning up the people who are on the objective so that way we can cap it. It was a good first offensive push.
The battle starts in 5,
So
4, 3.
the entire time that I was playing on offense, I was trying to understand that, like, with my kit and with what I had, I was trying to create, opportunities for my team or create space for my team or get kills or contest off angles or peel or, I was using the kit that I had and the kit that I like to play to sort of provide value for my team. It is not so black and white to just say, oh, well, this is the tank's job. This is the support's job. This is the DPS job, right? Everybody in this game has the ability to secure a kill, for instance, even the supports. So if there is a kill and it is available, why would you tell the support, oh, don't bother doing damage at somebody else's job, right? Just the same as, if somebody is attacking your supports and your tanks are busy holding space or dealing with another problem, why for you as a DPS would you not want to peel? And that's something I want players to get more into the mindset of is that, okay, how do I solve the problems that my team is facing right now? Because it's not just, oh, if you're playing DPS, all you do is flank the backline all day. Like, no, it's all about the strategy and like deciding in that moment and in that game, what would create the most value for my team.
All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
So here, my tanks are going to hold down main. I'm using the third-person camera to get a better view, trying to scout to see what to be worried about first, or what kind of DPS I should be concerned by. I'm shooting at the Scarlet Witch. You can see I'm using this cover here to make sure that I'm only shooting at her and nobody else can see me. I don't like this position, though, because of the fact that Black Panther is up there as well. So I take this angle instead. Now I have my team on main, I have Black Panther over here, and I have me on the side. I'm trying to provide pressure, and my Black Panther dies again. And now I am pulling back as the fact that we have lost one and we've lost a second. And now I'm just trying to get out and play back as we just don't have the numbers advantage. There's nothing we can do to really retake the point. There's too much damage and too much healing that we can't really do much. I was hoping to get maybe a lucky pick, and that didn't work out. So now I'm just charging my ults and getting ready to back out. I wouldn't have been able to hop on the point in order to stall for my team to come back, so that's the reason why there was no point in dying. It's better just to regroup here best we can. As they come in, I start to keep trying to apply pressure to help my team get out, and we're staggering a bunch, so I get out. I am constantly rotating with the idea of only being able to use my abilities in order to get out. I am never relying on the heals. I'm never relying on the tanks. I am always thinking to myself, how do I need to get out if, all I have is this toolkit down here, right? Everybody has a limited number of resources, including your team. And if you are constantly putting yourself in situations where you need to be saved, at some point there's going to be multiple people that need to be saved at once, and your teammates will only be able to, choose one of you, and it might not be you. At the same time, if resources are constantly being used defensively in order to bail you out, they can't be used offensively later. So, by putting yourself in a bad situation and in a bad spot where your teammate has to bail you out or has to sink resources into you, that means that they then don't get to use that resource offensively later or in a different time when they could use it to make a more aggressive play for their team. So, this is why you should always be playing around the idea that all you have is your own kit. If you use all of your kit and you put yourself into a bad situation and then your team has to bail you out, if you're not constantly putting yourself into bad situations, then your team usually has those resources a lot more frequently for those rare times that you do end up in a bad spot. But if you are constantly going out expecting your team to sink resources into you, at some point you aren't going to sync up and you're going to go out there, you're going to use all your resources and they won't be available to help you, especially if you have another teammate on your team who's got the same mentality and you're both constantly out there taking a bunch of damage, not using cover and mismanaging your resources. At some point, they're going to have to choose one of you and one of you is going to have to die. So always play around the idea that these are the only resources you have, unless you want to sync up with your teammate and plan a specific targeted attack or combo on someone. So here I go in. My team was dying a bunch. I'm trying to contest for the high ground here. And the moment it starts to get kind of dicey, I get back out. I go back up to contest the high ground, seeing that Bucky is up here, and I know that he is isolated away from his team, and I have ult. So I dash up and I use all my resources, but it gets a free pick. Now I'm trying to see where I can bring value as the entire team is ulting on point. I can't really do any damage. Pulling out totems, I start to off angle. Here in the Scarlet Witch, I am positioning myself in a way where, once again, I am not relying on my team to keep me alive through this ult. I am positioned in a way where if an ult does go off, I am safe. My team, however, did not have the same idea. So now I hop on the objective to see if I can't just maybe stop it from moving a little bit, but they see me right away, so I get right back out.
What a difference. Almost there.
And here, because of the fact that I wasn't playing around the idea that I needed my team to keep me alive, I am still alive. And now I'm wondering, okay, because I'm still alive, do I have the ability to touch the point? I'm communicating to my team because of the fact that I'm the only one still alive. Do I have the ability to touch the point and stall for you guys, or do I let it go? And they said we can't get there in time. It's probably best you just let it go. At this moment, I communicated. They're dashing in on me. And I dash back out. And I try to regroup with my team.
Keep up the momentum.
I don't have any of my cooldowns, though. So I try to dash out. I end up getting kind of stuck. And because of the fact that I dashed directly to my team and near my team, I set myself up for this. And this is why I died. You always kind of want to be near your team, but not next to your team. And that's something I need to remind myself all the time. So I die as they ult us all, and we just get team wiped. We had a really good offensive push, and our defensive push, we really staggered on first point really badly. We lost one, it domino affected. Then on second point, we continued to lose people, and then by the time we regrouped, we had that Scarlet Witch ult go off, and that's the reason why, this game is all about that momentum. And because of the fact that we never really had a good fight to slow and stop that momentum, they were able to push up through the first 2 points rather quickly. And this is why people think a lot of the games are snowbally, or that you can't win with some teams. If you don't understand how the snowballing nature works, it feels like it's very lopsided, but I understand that this is just how it worked out. Now at this point, we have to just really group together as a team and fight as six, which will give us a better chance of winning and stopping that snowball effect. So here, I have teammates shooting from this direction. I see this Scarlet Witch who has been bothering my team and getting a lot of ults off, so I keep trying to target her. I try to take advantage of the Cloak and Dagger ults and see if I can't clean up the tanks. With the help of the Punisher ult, we end up wiping them, which is really good.
But effective.
But here, as the Punisher is on the right and watching this space, I am on the left watching this space. You want to be watching and contesting space, right? DPS, this is what I'm good at, but everybody can do it. I am still scouting and seeing where the enemy is coming from, communicating it to my team, making sure that if anyone tries to flank from this direction, I am ready to cut them off. Because of that, I can start applying pressure here from this separate off angle. You can see my Emma Frost is dealing with their Emma Frost. I can hit her from a perpendicular angle, so even if she tries to shield in front, she can't shield behind. Now, as the Cloak and Dagger is ulting, I'm getting back because this place now feels safer to me. However, I realize that I am very far away from my team. I can't rely on them in this situation because of the fact that I use my abilities to push myself so far out of their LOS and so far away from them. It's a much more dangerous place for me to be in. However, I felt it was safer here than it was in all of this craziness up here. And because of the fact that Scarlet Witch got another nasty ult, I feel like that was a pretty good decision. So here, once again, I was always playing around the idea that this is all I had. Because of that, I'm still alive.
Healing magic.
Because I'm still alive, I'm able to set myself up for another play. Using the clones, I try to get a kill on the Loki, who did a really good job of using the invisibility and using the clone swap to be able to juke my ultimate. But now, because of the fact that I am still alive, I am able to come back out here and help fight to contest the payload before it taps with my team. Our Moon Knight gets a really great kill, which is awesome. I'm trying to follow up on what my Emma Frost is doing. And we get the execute on the thing. Now I am just trying to stay alive. I am not standing on the objective because of the fact that the tank can contest the objective better than I can because they are tanky. They can have the heal sunk into them. I am doing my best to hold this angle over here for when the ult runs out. Now that the ult is running out, now I can go in there and get the executes. Now, like before, how I was holding this space earlier when Punisher was on the right, now Moon Knight is up in the front, and I am going to be holding the right. I hear Bucky is on the left, so I go in there to outplay him, and I get the pick. And I go back and I regroup with my supports, so that way they can see me. If you need health, don't assume the health is going to get to you. Go back to your supports and stand still and you will get the health. So once I go back to them, my supports could see me and I got healed up. Also got a little damage boost. I heard heals because of the fact that Scarlet Witch moved even the tiniest bit. And once I realized that she was over there, I go to contest that space. I'm trying to let that ability of hers run out and I get the execute on her as well. Because of those two executes, I bought myself and my team a lot of time because now they have to wait a really long time because now only just now is Bucky coming back and Scarlet Witch is still coming back. So that's a long time for them to wait before they can really push the convoy again. I get out of there quickly because of the fact that I've been blown up by Strange too many times. I don't want to take the chance after giving my team the lead. I am off angling from this position. I am trusting my team over on the side, using this area as cover. Another Cloak and Dagger ult. I get out of the situation. I grab myself a little one of the jump packs just in case I need it because I really like those. I am waiting for my team to engage with the use of the Cloak and Dagger ult, which gives us a lot more space to work. I then collapse in on the enemy team. Get a quick execute on the Strange and get back out. And easy cleanup. That was lucky. Not gonna lie. Ults can create space. Ults can, get picks. Everybody in the game can do every single objective, every single thing that needs to be done. It's just that certain roles do it better. But that doesn't mean that each role isn't capable of doing it. So here I am sort of waiting in position, trying to sit there and get a cheeky flank off with my ultimate maybe, but I start to get pushed out by the Venom. So I'm trying to waste his E. If I die back here, remember, because of the fact that I am out of the LOS of my supports, I've put myself in this position to off angle, but I'm relying only on these tools here in order to keep me alive and get me back out. Hearing the amplifier go off, I go in and try to engage in on the Scarlet Witch because she has blown my team up so many times. I was trying to specifically target her.
Only 60 seconds left.
My terrible aim, Venom gets out. Because of the fact that they had lost one and they were running out of time and they keep losing time, they backed up and they were going to go for one final play, essentially. There's already not this much time left on the clock, you really don't want to waste time with fights that you're not confident you can win. So at this elo and at this rank, they said, okay, we lost one. Let's just, and our team had used ults. Like, they're like, let's just back up and regroup.
Shake it up. Oh, I need assistance.
So at this point, they're opening the portal, and I tell my team, hey, they're doing the Scarlet Witch portal strat. Get to an area where you have cover because she's going to try and blow you up through the portal. I'm keeping in mind of like where the portal is going to come from, but I'm also positioning myself in a way where if I had to, I can dash to many different areas of cover to avoid the ult. And everybody did the same thing. Everybody was trying to find a place of safety. Seeing all of the ults pop off at once, I am trying to do my best just to stay alive. Right now, like in this situation here, there is a lot of chaos going on. There is a ton of stuff happening. I can't expect my team to always be pumping heals into me or to protecting me. I have these tools in my toolkit. I'm going to try and provide my team with as much value as I can using these tools. And in doing so, I can get a quick execute on the Loki who's outside the ult. I'm waiting to get into position. I ult on the point as the Cloak and Dagger ult runs out. And now I am letting my tank contest and hold that space. I'm getting the executes. Getting the executes for them. Strange is low. Go for the execute on him. Now at this point, it's pretty much just clean up. And there, even though it seemed like they had a really strong push after the first 2 points, we were able to completely full hold them on the third point. And because of that, I only ended up dying twice this whole round, right? And it's because of the fact that my specific playstyle and the way that I do things is that I try my best not to put myself into positions where I'm going to die without the mandatory support of my team. If my team is supporting me while I am playing, then that puts me in a better position. And it just means that if I was going in with the plan of not having the full support, that means I was always putting myself in a pretty smart position the entire time. But if during that time I had the support of my team, or I got bubbled, or I got extra healed, or something popped up, that just means my plan, which was already I was pretty confident in, is only more likely to succeed because of the fact that now I also have the support of my team. But even still, like when you put yourself into positions where your team needs to save you, if they need to sink resources into you in order to save you, they can't sink resources into other people to save them, or they can't sink resources into them in order to bail them out in case something happens. It also means that they can't use those same resources in a more offensive way rather than just bailing someone out. Because if all you're doing the entire game is constantly bailing someone out, it makes it very difficult to ever make a play because you're always sort of handicapped, right? Those tools that everyone has, that everyone, can use, the support tools or the tank tools, the DPS tools. If you are playing around the idea that you need your teammates' resources as well, it's a very selfish play style. And it also means that you are actually hurting your team more than you are helping them, right? It's one thing to coordinate and say, hey, I want to engage. Can I have the Snowflake Luna? Or can I have a bubble Magneto? Or, can I, be prepared with the Totem Loki? It's one thing to say that and plan a coordinated attack. It's another thing to sort of expect it from your teammate. Uh, so yeah, whenever you're playing, play around the kit that you chose on, right? The kit, all of the tools that you have in the bottom right are the only ones you should be expecting to have the entire game. Uh, Anything else that you get on top of that is basically just out of the kindness of your teammates' hearts. And if you are toxic to them and you are rude to them, if you are negative, don't expect to get those resources any quicker. So yeah. Anyway, I hope that helps illustrate sort of like my play style and how I sort of play around the idea of using only my tools in my toolkit and the reason why I tend to have very few deaths. And yeah, also, you know, how much more beneficial it is for your team when you sort of play in a much safer and smarter way that allows your teammates, you know, more creative freedom in how they choose to use their own tools in their own toolkit. But anyway, yeah, I hope this one was educational still for you, and I hope you enjoy it. Anyway, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.